Kevin Shaw at Street Legal TV. This, my friends, is what you call a HEMI. Okay, so I'm sitting in between two really cool HEMIs that we got going on here. I know we've shown you some other HEMIs, but yeah, we got the classic here. It's making 500 foot-pounds of torque and 520 horse. But then we got what you would think is another classic HEMI, but you look at it and you realize this is a new motor. And it's running a 6-pack setup. These guys at Indy Cylinder Heads, they know what they're doing when it comes to motors, because we're looking at all this stuff and it's going from small block 360s all the way to 572 cubic inches of old school dual quad HEMI action. So Mopars at the Strip is really showing that we can do pretty much anything you want. If you got new school, old school, small block, big block, it's all here, man. Some brands just have that name that stick around. Sometimes you want to go and have a Coke even though you're going to crack open a root beer. People get a handful of Q-tips or even some Kleenex. You don't call them a cotton swab or a facial tissue. But when you talk big block Mopars, you don't mistake a HEMI for anything else. For those guys who just don't know what the difference is, I'm here at Glendora Dodge's booth with Matt, and Matt's going to walk us through the real difference between the classic Generation 2 HEMI and what the big block wedges were like.
Well, obviously in both of these, on the stock engines, you had cast iron.
Right.
These are both aluminum now.
Okay, saving some weight.
Saving some weight on it.
How much are we cutting off?
On a HEMI, you're cutting off roughly about 50 pounds a head.
50 pounds a head?
Yeah. So
that's 100 pounds off that motor.
Exactly.
Outstanding.
That's why the big benefit for the aluminum.
Okay.
The valve technology nowadays is better than it was, so the valve design is better.
Great.
Allow for better flow through the head. These aluminum heads, Chrysler actually designed them off of the original 426 drawings, so they will fit on a head. They actually fit better than the stock head did. Yeah, they designed them and then put them on a block and test fitted them several times before they actually came out into production.
No kidding.
So, and on the wedge head, this is also an aluminum version. The big move today is to aluminum.
Okay. Weight savings and
obviously the main thing is the weight savings on it. This particular head has a smaller chamber on it.
Okay.
Than the normal chamber would be a full open chamber. This is
so we're bumping up the compression quite a bit
when
then.
You put that one on there.
Okay.
Yeah. And the whole idea is to try to get your flow numbers.
Right.
And that's where the HEMI is so superior.
Well, of course.
As you pointed out before. But it's a great head. This one with Chrysler allows us to put stock manifolds on a 440 where some of the other ones don't. So Chrysler's done a lot of developing in both heads for what people are doing nowadays.
Okay.
On their cars.
So these literally can swap out the original stuff.
Absolutely.
But you can bump up your compression, bump up your flow, and overall performance numbers through and through with a simple swap.
Right. Just bolt on.
And for those guys who are really hardcore racers who might have an accident or two, the aluminum is a lot easier to repair.
I sold one here last year to a guy who broke one head.
No kidding.
Yeah, and bought one of my new heads so he could get his car running again.
Well, that's a good thing you were here then.
Exactly.
Well, Matt, thank you again. Really appreciate it.